The picturesque Bavarian city becomes the stage for an urgent moment in German politics. After weeks of discord, the parliamentary leaders of Germany's ruling coalition have come together for closed-door talks, determined to show a united front. The coalition, forged in May under Chancellor Friedrich Merz, is a delicate alliance between the Christian Democratic Union, its Bavarian sister party, the Christian Social Union, and the centre-left Social Democratic Party. It was hailed as a bold balancing act, bridging left and right. But in recent weeks, that bridge has creaked under the strain of disagreements, missteps, and rising public criticism. As cameras click, three of the most powerful figures in German politics appear side by side: Jens Spahn, parliamentary leader of the CDU, Alexander Hoffmann of the CSU, and Matthias Miersch of the SPD. Their walk together is not mere protocol, it is choreography designed to send a message of solidarity to a restless nation. The images of leaders climbing stairs, walking shoulder to shoulder, even sharing quiet conversation, are carefully framed to highlight cooperation. And yet, behind these gestures lies the acknowledgement that this coalition has stumbled. From bitter disputes over budget priorities to mishandling the election of a judge for the Federal Constitutional Court, tensions have threatened to overshadow the government's agenda. When the leaders pause for a symbolic selfie before facing reporters, the image speaks volumes. Unity, if only for the cameras, is part of the strategy. But soon the tone turns more candid. Jens Spahn, the CDU parliamentary leader, reflects on the coalition's turbulent start. He says, "We started 114 days ago with this black-red coalition. We knew from the outset that it would not be an easy journey. There would be steep climbs, sharp bends, and indeed, recent weeks have jolted us." Spahn's words serve as both warning and reassurance, a recognition of challenges, but also a pledge to weather the storms ahead. Matthias Miersch of the SPD takes the microphone next, his remarks tinged with humility. "The last few weeks have not been easy. Mistakes have been made," he admits. "That is why we will take this time to talk very openly with each other so that we can avoid these mistakes in the future, so that episodes like the judicial election never happen again. Open discussion is the prerequisite for tackling the big issues." In a political culture where self-criticism is rare, Miersch's words underscore just how fragile the coalition has become and how essential honesty is for its survival. Finally, Alexander Hoffmann of the CSU broadens the scope, appealing to a wider mission. This coalition will be a bridge builder against polarization in our society, he declares. It will push back the extremes and act as a bridge on the many issues now dividing the country. His message is not only to fellow politicians, but to voters across Germany, where far-right and far-left parties have gained traction by feeding on discontent. For Chancellor Merz, this retreat is more than a political meeting. It is an act of crisis management. Germany's grand coalitions are not new. Angela Merkel relied on them to govern for much of her tenure. Supporters argue they bring stability. Critics insist they drain accountability and stifle bold reform. The Merz government is already confronting this paradox. To compromise enough to govern without appearing paralysed by division, the stakes could not be higher. Europe's largest economy stands at the centre of a storm. Russia's war in Ukraine, rising energy costs, debates over migration, and the pressure of climate transition. At home, voters grow impatient. Abroad, allies look to Berlin for leadership. A fractured coalition would not only weaken Merz, but reverberate across the European Union. In Würzburg, the strategy is clear: regroup, reset, and reassure. Leaders walk, talk, and pose in unison. Their words of humility, of endurance, of bridge building are designed to signal that the coalition is stronger than its setbacks. But the test of unity does not lie in symbolic selfies or polite press conferences. It lies in the weeks and months ahead, in budgets to be passed, laws to be debated, crises to be confronted. The coalition will need more than staged gestures to prove its durability. As the leaders turn and walk away from the press side by side, the message is unmistakable. For now, Germany's ruling parties choose to stand together. The question is how long that togetherness will hold when the next sharp bend jolts the coalition once again.
Hallo, grüß Sie. Schön, dass Sie sich die Zeit nehmen. Von dem bisschen Regen lassen wir uns die Klausur nicht. Genau, dann wird die gemacht. Da vorne auch mit Stäbchen, die Leuten, unterhältst dich. brauchst du auf die Festung die Anbindung für die Fußgängerzone, die hier tatsächlich auch noch funktioniert. Und ihr werdet das merken, wenn du dann in da hinten ist jetzt die Kirche, da ist das Meinfeld-Keppele, das ist da hinten diese Kapelle im Berg. Da meine Eltern da hinten ja, das ist das Keppel. Das ist das Keppel. Heilige Josef ist drauf. Und es werden natürlich immer mal wieder irgendwelche Scherze gemacht mit dem Brückenheiligen, also manchmal eine Flasche Sekt in die Hand gedrückt, ganz friedlich. Und das ist hier auch in der Silvesternacht auch der Mittelpunkt. Wir haben eine gesperrte Innenstadt an Silvester wegen Sicherheit und Böllern. Und da ist sind schon ganz gut. Ja, genau. Und da natürlich diese Weinberge, die sieht man ja auch immer, wenn man durchfährt. Und das sind die berühmten Weinberge.
Können Sie mal einmal die Stellen, bitte?
Hier geht's unsere Tagung?
Ja, gehen wir.
Haben noch viel zu tun. Völlig egal.
Ja, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen zu dieser Koalition. Sie haben eine inhaltliche Schnittmenge, sonst stünden Sie nicht hier. Sie haben ein
Dankeschön.
We started 114 days ago with this black-red coalition. We knew from the outset that it would not be an easy journey. It would not be plain sailing. There would be steep climbs along the way. There have already been some sharp bends that have jolted us in recent weeks. But we have seen that the last few weeks have not been easy, that mistakes have been made, and that is why we will take this time here to talk very openly with each other so that we can avoid these mistakes in the future, or so that something like what happened with the election of the Federal Constitutional Court judge does not happen again. This open discussion is a prerequisite for us to be able to tackle the big issues. This coalition wants to and will be a bridge builder against polarisation in our society and wants to push back the extremes. This coalition will be a bridge builder on the many important issues that are now also polarising and being discussed with different poles.